Hello and welcome. Today we are going to be talking about gingerbread fragrances from Bath & Body Works. I wanted to compare and contrast an old gingerbread by Bath & Body Works versus the new Jolly Gingerbread Village fragrance that they just released for this holiday season. But before we jump in, if you've never seen my videos before, my name is Melissa. I used to be a part-time manager at a Bath & Body Works for about 6 years, and now I'm here on YouTube making Bath & Body Works related content. So if that's something that interests you, then make sure you hit that big red subscribe button down below. By the way, you'll all have to start a discussion in the comments below. How did Candle Day go for you? Was it a Candle Day failure or a Candle Day success? Did you get everything off your wish list? I'll be interested to hear if you noticed that anything specifically sold out in your location. So let's start a little Candle Day discussion. But without further ado, let's start comparing these two gingerbread fragrances. So here is the brand new 2023 gingerbread fragrance that Bath & Body Works released this year. It's called Jolly Gingerbread Village. And based on what I've been reading online, I've been hearing some interesting and mixed reviews on this fragrance. So I thought it'd be interesting to compare it to something that maybe you remember from the past. So I dug out from my bin Spiced Gingerbread Swirl. This was a part of the Holiday Traditions collection of 2018. Another gingerbread fragrance that Bath & Body Works had in the past was the Gingerbread Latte fragrance. They've had that a couple of different years. Unfortunately, that one I don't have in my collection, so I'm unable to really give my opinions on those. So if that is a fragrance that you're very familiar with, you'll have to weigh in on how that compares and contrasts to these two fragrances in the comments below as well. But yeah, the brand new gingerbread, it's been stirring up a little bit of controversy. Apparently, a lot of people have been saying that it's not sweet at all, it's not very gourmand, it doesn't smell anything like gingerbread, and they're just kind of wondering what happened with Bath & Body Works. What were they thinking when they made this scent? So let's take a deep dive. The fragrance notes on this new gingerbread scent are golden gingerbread, vanilla icicles, and Yuletide timber. So based on the notes, it says it has gingerbread in it, so the other notes, vanilla icicles, I've noticed that whenever there's a note of icicles at Bath & Body Works, that tends to lean more on the musky, masculine kind of side of things. A lot of their candles that have the note of icicle in them has a little bit of a cologne kind of scent. And then Yuletide timber, that is definitely suggesting woodsy as opposed to bakery, which is funny because this looks like it's going to smell sweet based on the packaging. I do love the way that this packaging looks, by the way. It looks super festive. I love that warm brown color. So I think that the packaging for me is a 10 out of 10. It's exactly what I enjoy in packaging. So there's that. For comparison, the fragrance notes on the Spiced Gingerbread Swirl from 2018 has warm ginger snap, fresh nutmeg, orange zest, spiced brown sugar, and roasted tonka. So definitely suggesting more of a foodie kind of scent. There's definitely more edible notes like orange zest and ginger snap. Packaging on this one was also really cute. I think it's one of those types of packaging that looks better when you see it with the whole entire collection. It's also interesting to note that what gives this color is actually the liquid of the fragrance as opposed to the bottle, whereas Jolly Gingerbread Village, I believe that's a clear fragrance with just a brown bottle. That is something to think about. I know sometimes people tend to prefer a clear liquid over color just because if you are spraying clothing, there is the risk of it transferring to your clothes. In the past, I know they've done like a vibrant red color for the Winter Candy Apple fragrance mist, and that one wasn't going over so well. I think they've switched over now that they're mainly doing clear liquids. So let's smell the 2018 Spiced Gingerbread Swirl. I really do like this scent. To me, it's heavier on the spiced notes as opposed to the really rich and sweet notes. Gingerbread usually consists of brown sugar and molasses as kind of those more rich notes, and it doesn't have that much. I'm definitely smelling more of the nutmeg, the fresh spiced ginger kind of scent, and even that orange zest is kind of bringing it to more of a top note heavy fragrance. It's also interesting too because they say that this has ginger snap as opposed to gingerbread. When I think of ginger snap, I think of that more crunchy kind of gingerbread, which does tend to have more of the spicy notes, as opposed to when I think of gingerbread, I think more of like pumpkin bread, like a loaf of bread type of gingerbread, where it's soft and warm and it's definitely more gooey and molassesy kind of scented. And this is definitely giving ginger snap vibes over the loaf of gingerbread. Now it's time to smell the new Jolly Gingerbread Village. I definitely smell the controversy that I've been reading. When I smell that, I'm like, that's not gingerbread. It doesn't smell bad. It's just definitely not what I was thinking that Jolly Gingerbread Village would smell like. I'm almost getting like a woodsy, boozy kind of scent. as opposed to desserty or gourmand. Now I need to do the skin test. I need to smell what they smell like with my body chemistry. So this hand has the new Jolly Gingerbread Village, while this hand I'm gonna spray Spiced Gingerbread. Jolly Gingerbread Village does smell a lot better on my skin than it does the paper. The sweeter notes do come out on my skin a little bit, but what I'm getting is not gingerbread or vanilla or bakery scent. It smells like honey. Like the sweetener of this gingerbread is a honey scent. Like it's almost giving me a little bit of the honey cocoa shea vibes. A darker, mysterious, perfumed kind of fragrance as opposed to straight up gourmand. I feel like the spiced gingerbread, the way it smells on the paper smells very true to what it smells like on my skin. So that transfer over isn't as extreme of a difference as when I sprayed paper versus skin on Jolly Gingerbread. As a gourmand girl, I definitely enjoy spiced gingerbread over the new Jolly Gingerbread Village. Let me tell you what the problem is with Jolly Gingerbread Village. The marketing of this fragrance and the way that they've portrayed it does not match what it actually smells like. If they had labeled this as kind of like a woodland critter theme, or something to do with woods or mystical forest or something like that, I feel like they could have played it off and people would have enjoyed it better than the way they're enjoying it now, which is not so much based on what I've been hearing on the feedback. If I could rename Jolly Gingerbread Village, I would name it Honey Smoked Woods or something like that, because I smell lots of honey for the sweetener part of it. It's like a smoky honey paired with like a woodsy scent. Not a bad fragrance, just a huge disconnect. And then I think also the problem too is when you say gingerbread and you market it as like a festive gingerbread, holly jolly kind of situation, you really are expecting a sweet treat with like icing and gumdrops and that sweet gingerbread molassesy brown sugar situation, which you're really not getting in the Jolly Gingerbread Village. Again, with the disconnect where I feel like people think of gingerbread normally as a true gourmand. In Bath & Body Works' defense, I believe that Jolly Gingerbread Village still could be classified as a gourmand. It's just like how we call things fruity floral, like sweet pea and gingham. You know, we've got the pure category, fruity, and then we've got floral, but there is kind of its own category when you combine the two together. They make their own kind of fragrance category, fruity floral. I feel like same could be said for gourmand fragrances. I feel like there's food gourmands, but we also have this category of woodsy or maybe musky, we could call it. But there is a world in which you can combine the two together and have a woodsy gourmand. Some other fragrances I feel like could potentially fall into that category are Marshmallow Fireside. You know, you've got the sweet from the marshmallow, but there's also kind of that smoky scent in there that brings it to the woodsy side. Also Vanilla Patchouli Comfort. I feel like that's a big one where the vanilla helps sweeten it up, but it still has that earthy, musky scent to it from the patchouli. Jolly Gingerbread Village really does fall under that category. Yeah, it's kind of gourmand, but it's definitely on the woodsy, musky side. Now that I've let time go by and this has dried down on my skin, I am left with no vanilla, no gingerbread. It smells literally just like Yuletide timber or like a woodsy, musky scent on my skin. It almost has a little bit of a men's cologne kind of fragrance, and that I think is why it's really strange for how they have presented this to be a gingerbread fragrance. I hope that this fragrance review and comparison was helpful to you while you're making some choices for Christmas shopping or maybe fragrances that you're interested in buying for yourself. Like I mentioned earlier, let me know down in the comments how your candle day went, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.